to WNBA coaches. We have two coaches that are technically they're not considered fired, but their contracts weren't renewed. And these were not the two coaches that I thought were going to be fired at the end of this year. You have the coach in Chicago, Tyler, who I actually am glad that he wasn't fired. I want him to have another year, and he was an assistant coach with Becky Hammon in Las Vegas, and some people were going maybe losing him and losing Natalie Nakase, who became the head coach at Golden State. Maybe that could have played some factors into why the Vegas wasn't doing as well at the beginning. Like, take away Kelsey Plum, you're adding in, oh my God, from Seattle. You're adding her in. She's taken a while to be. I feel so bad for forgetting her name. Anyways, so I like to see what he's gonna do with Chicago. So I thought, but if he would have been fired, I'd been like, you know what, makes sense. Chicago, not great. The other one, Chris Klakanis with Dallas, he should be fired. He's not good. He's not a good coach. You could see it in Paige's face whenever he's talking. She would never look at Gino Auriemma that way.
No.
So, and those two men are going forward, and these two women, WNBA champions, they got fired. So first Noelle Quinn of the Seattle Storm, and then Sandy Brondello of the New York Liberty, which Sandy being let go is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I can understand it a little bit with Noelle, maybe a little bit, but Sandy, New York, what are you doing?
This is that Phil Jackson Last Dance scenario where she just doesn't get along with upper management. Is all I can think of.
I don't even think that's the case because they seem to get along great. I think this was a championship or bust, which New York, you just won your first ever last year. You're not a championship or bust team. But
whatever.
Anywho, it's not like you're the Minnesota Lynx. And even then, when Cheryl leaves, she didn't win every year. She won every other year with them. They still kept her.
Right.
But anywho, when asked about a head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, speaking of her, Cheryl Reeves said, I think Sandy is one heck of a coach. I'm absolutely thrilled if I'm Seattle, Toronto, and Portland that I was just gifted a championship level coach. She's going to be the head coach of one of those three games.
Oh, yeah. She's not going to be out of the job for very long. I just think New York is making a dumb decision about it. But
New York is making a very dumb decision. Becky Hammon was also asked about it, and she said, I don't love it for Sandy. I have to be honest. She's just won a championship. She won in other places, and I know her to be a quality coach and a quality person. Those are rare sometimes to get the mixture of qualities as a head coach. Becky goes on to say, Cheryl Reeves should be the model. If you have a good coach, you keep a good coach. If it doesn't mean you win every year. There can be rough years in between, but you continue to stay competitive and you invest in what you have. You invest in your leadership. It happens all the time in professional sports, but it's really hard to rip off a foundation, just start over and over every year or every 2 years. She goes on further to say, I mean, you look at, poor Devin Booker. How many head coaches did that guy have? It's just hard to reboot every year. Now, I know it seems like the coach is the easiest thing to remove, but if you have a good coach, you keep him or her. So you got two of the best coaches there in Cheryl Reeves and Becky Hammon saying, this is fucking dumb. Yeah. So before the announcement and right after the New York Liberty lost in the first round, they were asked about Sandy Brondello in the post conference. This is what Brianna Stewart had to say about her.
Our question for the players: what would you say to those who question whether Sandy should be here next year to coach you guys again?
What though?
I'm not saying I question it. There's just some people that do.
I mean, to anybody that kind of questions Sandy being here, this is a resilient group, and she has our back and we have hers. And the way that she continued to kind of I don't know, deal with the cards she was dealt, like, was incredible. It wasn't easy for anybody, but she came in every day with a positive attitude and a mindset to put us in our best positions possible and best foot forward. So we're not going to be a team that points fingers. You know, there's a lot of us that could have done better this season, but we're still going to fight and show up for each other every single day. And I think that's what's the most important part. So we have Sandy's back.
What the fucking deeds, Stewie? Yeah, the New York silenced her fuck there. I watched it on because I pay for the WNBA package. When you'd actually get to watch it, you get to hear the bad words in the post game interview. So she legit said, "What the fuck?"
Right? What the?
The Liberty got hit with the injury bug this year, and you can't blame a coach for that, especially when she did as well as she did with the injuries she had. You have the Indiana fever, as we've talked about. We're doing something really unheard of with the injuries that they have, but normally you aren't going to make it very far when you have your best players injured. That's usually the way it goes.
Yeah.
Besides that, they were 27-17 this year, which is not a bad record at all. So I don't know. This seems kind of crazy to me. And this video here kind of sums up how I feel about it.
For a mother effing second, but what? I have some breaking WNBA coaching updates, and I don't like it one bit because what do you mean the New York Liberty have let Sandy Brondello go? She's coming off the championship season last year. Yes, they got evicted from the opening round this year. However, in what world is Sandy Brondello leaving the New York Liberty against her will? And in similar news, in what world are these two not even being questioned about their jobs? Because it was announced by both of the organizations, both the Dallas Wings and the Chicago Sky, that they are not seeking coaching changes for the next season, that these two are secure in their positions. But we have let Sandy Brondello go, and we let Noelle Quinn go. Sorry, but unless we're doing a wife swap in which Noelle Quinn goes to the Liberty and Sandy Brondello goes to the Seattle Storm, I don't see what the point of any of these are. But I guess semi-related, we do need some more unrivaled coaches, so maybe Sandy Brondello can go there because we've seen that Nola Henry and Teresa Weatherspoon are fantastic coaches, and they have proved that time and time again. And they also proved that in Unrivaled by being the final two coaches. I would love to see Sandy Brondello go in the offseason and do that. But this woman deserves a head coaching job. Somebody hire her. Somebody immediately will hire her. Maybe one of our expansion teams. But still, this is weird of the New York Liberty to do. Excuse me for a mother effing second.
Yeah, and like she just brought up Nola Henry there. Nola Henry, she's the assistant coach at Dallas. She should be the head coach of Dallas. She's a better coach than Chris Kalkainis.
Yeah, one would think. But
You'd think.
But I mean, you've had in every sport, you've had coaches that have been let go, and you're like, why? And then you're looking at the other teams are like, oh, we're going to give them another shot. I'm like, what?
Why?
What? Oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I know we're talking more about Sandy here. I do want to, for Noelle Quinn just a little bit. She was the only Black head coach in the WNBA, and now there are none with this let go, unless we don't know what the head coaches will be like for these now 4 vacancies in Seattle, New York, Portland, and Toronto. But that's one thing when you have a league that's 80% Black women and you don't have a Black woman head coach in your league, that just doesn't look right.
No, Don Staley isn't walking through those doors.
But some just things about Sandy. She's New York's winningest coach as the all-time leader in wins with 107 and win percentage, .669. She's back-to-back finals with the Liberty, 23-24, where she won in 24, 2-time WNBA champion as head coach, 2014 with Phoenix, 2024 with New York. She's second all-time in playoff wins with 40, only behind Cheryl Reeves with 52, and she just won bronze at the Olympics as the head coach of Australia. So, an amazing fucking coach. So,
like I said, there's something there that we don't know about.
Yeah, and I was what was it, NBA Today they were on? I was listening to it yesterday, and they basically said that it was championship or bust for this year. So
I still don't.
that
that's
can't
not-
be the mindset though.
No. Well, that, and I just think that's what they said. I think there's got to be something more underlying than championship or bust.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason they brought that up as championship or bust, and whether or not she's going to be let go or not, like that. There had to have been something there that, like, look, fine, you'll keep your job because you just won it, but but if you don't go back to back, we're that's it. So that's where I'm kind of like my mindset is, because with what happened with who's the Fever's coach now?
Stephanie White.
Yeah, where did she get traded there? I thought, didn't they let her go?
No, she left Connecticut.
She left Connecticut. Okay, that was
She left Connecticut to go to Indiana. That was her leaving on her own accord. She wasn't let go. The weird thing with Sandy is that her team loves her. Her players love playing for her, and that's one thing that I would think a front office would really like, is that there's a great locker room and you have a team that respects and loves their coach and plays well for their coach. And you even see there's if you go on Instagram, you follow like Niara Sabali or Brianna Stewart, they all went out to dinner, like the whole team, and Sandy was there, and her husband is also her assistant coach. And so they were all there, and like so there is like a love and a connection, and just like you see how her team like basically being like, what the fuck, to their own ownership. So this could be very much you're pissing the fuck off your players, and you're going into a year where almost all of them are free agents.
Yeah.
So that's not smart either.
Again, if all of them are going to be free agents, they're probably like, we probably can't afford everyone, and they're probably just ready to just
it's very dumb. It's
I don't get it, but I'm just trying to find the reason behind it, and it's not just that if they kept saying championship or bust, I'm like, that's a smokescreen to something else.
Yeah, well, who knows? But any decision really is, it just on all fronts is really dumb.